Welcome to the Napa Auto Parts Road to the Championship presented by Rain-X Road Atlanta. Are you with me? Are you ready to meet your top 16 drivers here at Formula Drift Atlanta? Hashtag FDATL. This is the Napa Auto Parts Road to the Championship presented by Rain-X, round 3 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship. Starting off with the first car parked in the Essa Autosports Achilles tire BMW. It is Michael Essa. Next up, moving down the line, he is in the car number 959. This machine is built to shred. He's in the Achilles Radial Ford powered S13. It is Matt. Put him in a coffin. Next up in the Wordhouse Drift Team, coming to us from Poland on Falcon tires in that S15. It is the Candyman, Peter Visix. Next to him is your defending champion, 2017 Formula Drift champion, the Wordhouse Drift Team, Falcon Tires S15, James the Machine Dean. Next up, he is your number 1 Black Magic top qualifier. He is winner of the Black Magic Bling Medallion. Mike Briggs, representing Napa Auto Parts, and Mark Tucker, brand manager for Black Magic, presenting a Black Magic product pack, as well as $500. Your number 1 qualifier in the Falcon Tires Roush Performance Ford Mustang, JTP, Justin Pollock. Next up, your former Formula Drift champions in the Rockstar Energy Drink, Toyota Racing, Toyota Corolla on Nexen tires. It is Frederick, the Norwegian Hammer Osbo. In the debut of his Wish Falcon Tires Corvette, it's the Beast from the Bay, 777, Matt Field. He got a podium at round 1 in Long Beach after a year hiatus, but he is back, and he's not just blowing vape clouds. In his Vape-Tasia Energy Innovations Achilles Radial S15, it is Forrest Wing. Next up, welcome to the Bone Zone. These two gentlemen here in that gum out. Nexen Tires, Toyota Racing, Toyota 86. It is Ryan Turk. Next to him is race service teammate in that NOS Energy Drink 370Z on Nexen Tires, 3-time Formula Drift champion, Chris the Force Forsberg. The mulleted one is up next, Rad Dan in that Nexen Tires Toyota Supra. It is Radical Daniel Rad Dan Burkett. Coming to us all the way from Latvia in that HGK Motul Achilles Tires Eurofighter E93, Christophe Bloosh. Next up in that supercharged V8 S14.5 Falcon Tires, Drifts, Wheels, Max Oil, it is Odi Bakshis. Another former champion in the mix, a veteran since day 1 here at not Irwindale, but here at Atlanta. In the Turn 14 distribution, Falcon Tires, turbocharged LS BRZ, slide or die, Jiro Yoshihara. Next up from Destin, Florida, in that Rain-X Huddy Racing, Hottadale Racing, Nexen Tire, supercharged V8 S14. It is Alec Hottadale. Say howdy, get rowdy to our final top 16 driver. Originally from Pennsylvania, now living the PNW in that BC Racing, Nitto Tires, Centerline, Ford Performance, Mustang, RTR, ready to rowdy, Chelsea Donova. Those are your top 16 drifters. Are you ready to send it, Road Atlanta? We have a packed house here. right. When we come back, top 16 here at the Napa Auto Parts Road to the Championship, presented by Rain-X, round 3 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship. Send it, Road Atlanta. Welcome back here as the crowd is streaming in. The sun is setting, lights are on. Now, Ryan, we have an interesting turn of events here as far as the top 16 and how it shapes up. We had a protest that went down in 32, and if you could elaborate a little bit on what transpired.
Yeah, so remember we saw this run here with Ken Gucci and Matt Kaufman, and we were curious as to why Gucci got such a late jump out of the gate. Well, the team protested and said that Matt Kaufman jumped the light, and we went back and reviewed that. Indeed, he did jump the light. We were able to verify that with some GoPro cameras on the vehicle. And this run is what the judges will have to digest in comparison to the run that we are going to see live here. So every now and again, a protest comes in and it does get validated. We've got a system up here to look at the runs and take a look at what transpired. And if we can't figure it out there, we'll oftentimes go to some of the in-car cameras that are used for the television production. And because of the time frame during the top 32, it gave us ample time to review that, and the protest was validated by the judges and the race director. So the first battle that we're going to see up is going to be rerunning the first half of Ken Gucci and Matt Kaufman.
And that'll be Kaufman leading, Gucci giving chase. All right, so again, from 15 years to your first year, it doesn't matter. We try to put on a show for you, and the show is only created out of great competition and some of the best fans in motorsports. Thank you, Road Atlanta, as the sun is setting, the lights are turning on, and we revisit top 32. This is the first half of this Kaufman and Gucci battle. Let's ensure that the light goes on and then extinguishes for the first half of this battle. Again, Drift Scum, Team Rowdy, hardcore fans, thank you guys and gals for joining us. And again, all the hardcore fans that don't have cool names like Scum and Rowdy. Team Nice Guy. Team Rowdy's turning into Team Daddy over there is more like it. I know, it's like daycare, Rowdy daycare over there. Here we go. This is the first half of this battle. Kaufman and Gucci. We got a clean start, or what looks to be. You never know what could happen. But Gucci right there on the back end of Kaufman. Gucci drops a little tire. Kaufman massages into that first outside zone. Kaufman into the second. Gucci right there. Seems like he's got something to prove here. Just barely kisses and knocks over that Black Magic Extreme clip. And now Kaufman pulls away past that final front clip, and Kaufman comes a-blazing. Wow, like I said, Ryan, it really looked like Gucci just had fire in his eyes.
Yeah, you can tell why he wanted to get that clean start. He initiates a little bit later than Kaufman. Both drivers coming down into this first inside clip here. Gucci trying to pour the pressure on, coming through that smoke line, heading up the hill here. Kaufman putting some angle in the car. Gucci right there door to door, but Kaufman pretty deep into that second outer zone. Gucci still really doing a great job on proximity, cutting back through, now down the hill. And you can see right here, big smoke plume by Matt Kaufman. Nice transition back around, just hitting that clip. And a little bit of separation there. And then here is the run again that they're comparing it to. The judges seeing it back to back here to see if this will have a change in outcome, Jared. Gucci in the lead here. You can see out front does a pretty good job there, hitting that outside zone. And now coming down the hill.
Check, check, check. And yeah, as they go back down the hill, you could see revisiting that round 32 battle between Kaufman and Gucci.
The suspense is killing.
Yeah, results are in. So again, just that first half, and now slide them left for Kaufman, right, and it's a one more time. It's a one more time. So, you know what? I think that's the right thing to do. So we have a one more time battle between those guys. All right, next up, Peter Visix, Odi Bakshis. Peter Visix, Odi Bakshis, look at that. They have gone against each other twice, and Odi Bakshis has trumped the Polish driver. Wordhouse improvement, nice, well played. As Peter Visix will lead. Peter Visix will lead, and Odi will give chase. And let's see where it ends up. So again, we are advancing quite a bit here into the top 16. The winner of this battle goes against the winner of the. I'm not even going to get into that scenario. Here we go. Peter Visix throws it in. Odie Bakshi's right there. Wow. Woo-wee. Peter Visix now into that first outer zone, into the second. Odie was right there on the door. He lost some ground, but just a gangster initiation by Odie. Really just barely letting him transition in front of him. Look at Odie Bakshi's. You cannot even see Odie. Like I said, Odie's chase game is just becoming some of the most exciting with what he does with that car.
Well, he gets right into it here. Door-to-door action through this inside clip. Odie just right there on that back bumper. Transitions right here, tucks up on the inside. Now this is where we see a little bit of separation. You can see why Odie wanted to get that good jump coming out of the gate. Visix gets really deep into that second outer zone, then back around, and now Odie's back in the fight again here, coming through this smoke cloud. Really close right here to Peter, and then right there they hit that clip. And it does not impact either driver, but a very exciting first half of the battle here as Odie Bakshi's makes an aggressive move. It looks like it pays off there. A little bit of separation coming up the hill, then Odie gets back on it. But out front, Peter laying a solid, clean lead run. Not a lot of mistakes, so Odie's got his work cut out for him in his lead run, but Peter's got to make sure he keeps the pressure on.
All right, so here we go as the second half of this battle. Odie Bakshi's just a phenomenal chase job. Just really love what he's doing. Falcon tire smoke still just looming. So this is what I was talking about. You can't really see it on the broadcast, on the live stream, but wind is kind of breezing through here. Seeing a slight breeze, but just since we're lower kind of in this bowl, then it doesn't really clear out the smoke. Okay, we got shrapnel all over the track is what I'm hearing, because our race official here, it looks like they took out that clipping point 1, which becomes the final clipping point as well. And again, Odie and Visix waiting patiently here on the start line. And it looks like we are getting a clear start. Here we go. Odie Bakshi's, Peter Visix. Nobody hits a cone. Here we go. Bakshi's, Peter Visix, you see him twitching his way towards Bakshi's. Now Visix with a solid chase job. Transitioning up the hill, Visix. Right there, wheel to wheel. Looks like they're about to touch Falcons. We got some serious falconry going down. Taking out the clips, taking out the cones, and Odie, look at the Falcon tire smoke around the track. Wow.
Well, that was really interesting. You can see Pietro tries to do the same thing to Odie on initiation. Odie's snappy transition back around. Now Peter's a little bit closer here coming up the hill, but I think Odie actually gets the better going down the hill. He's able to get some separation. Pietro banging right there, touching wheel to wheel. Nice transition by Odie. Now look here, this is where he gets some separation, whereas Odie was closer to Pietro through that section of the course. So a back and forth battle, both drivers with some really high marks.
Let's take a look at the side by side here. These two S chassis, Odie with that supercharged V8 and Peter with that 2JZ. We're really splitting hairs here, Ryan.
Well, you can see Odie opts up for a little bit of a different line. This is where he falls back. I think this is the part that Odie would want to improve on the most if he had to do it again. Pietro, on the other hand, he's very tight coming through, coming up the hill. But then watch this. As we come down the hill here, Odie is right there in his chase, really close, but Pietro is falling back behind here. And this is where Odie gets the better through this last section of the course.
I would say that Odie was off of that front touch and go compared to Pietro. He was really tight. So, you know, tit for tat, it was kind of like, I love FD. Look at this little fan right here. Right on, man. And results are in, starting them out young. And here we go. Odie Bakshi's, Peter Visix. Slide him right for Peter Visix, says Ryan. Andy says one more time, and Brian says Peter Visix gets the victory. And Peter Visix, again, Ryan and Brian siding with Peter Visix. Lantana, go to you.
In my eyes, Piotr did a better job in the lead. He got up deeper into outside zone 2.
A solid job there from Odi Bakshis, but unfortunately Peter Visix just too much to handle. So we go back to a complete one more time. The next entire top 32. This is a battle from earlier in the day that, again, if you're just tuning in, we had to do half of the battle. Kaufman jumped the light. It wasn't caught, and now we are revisiting it because we saw the second. The half that needed to get redone, so now it was dictated a one more time. So here we go, back to the next entire top 32. One more time battle between Kaufman and Gushi. Kaufman will lead, Gushi will give chase. All right, we got a clean start, no cones were hit. Gushi gang, thrown down for the Gushi gang as Kaufman into that first front clip. A big wide swing allowed Ken Gushi to catch up, but now Kaufman into that first outer zone. Into the second outer zone, dragging that bumper. Ken Gushi, not as aggressive as he was on that previous run we just saw from him. And Kaufman really snappy with those transitions.
Yeah, but I think it's really going to come down to how the judges interpret Matt Kaufman coming past inside clip 1, because that seemed to really affect Ken Gushi. Watch this right here. Kaufman slows down, and then right there you can see there's some contact. So I really want to know what the judges think about that, because that seemed to disrupt Ken Gushi, and it affected him for the entirety of the run. Matt Kaufman, for his part, after that, really solid through the horseshoe down into that inside touch and go. Nice snappy transition back around, and Ken Gushi a few car lengths back.
Yeah, it looks like Kaufman in the lead position really slowed down after inside clip 1, which is not a decel zone. So we're going to have a look at the replay here with an isolated camera to see if there was contact. It looks like there was, with the rear bumper of Kaufman being knocked off. So we're going to have a look at that and come back to you.
All right, so judges digesting this first run once again.
Now
yeah, what's that?
The decel zone is in this section of the course right here, then it stops. And that's what the judges are talking about. Yeah. Is there a noticeable slowdown there that affected Ken Gushi? And if there was, on their interpretation, it's going to mean that how they judge the rest of this run is going to be affected by that. And you can see that it did affect Ken.
Here is the second half of this battle. So the plot thickens with Kaufman and Gushi even more. Here we go. Gushi will now lead. Kaufman will give chase. Again, this still is to decide who moves on to the 16. Gushi throws it in. Oh, and Gushi comes into that first. Kaufman catches it. Gets into the dirt. A little bit of rally expertise from Kaufman. And Gushi through the keyhole. Does he unlock the victory? What do we got, Ryan? See, you tapped me. I mean, Kaufman shuts it down. Yeah, sorry. I mean, I saw that, but yeah.
Well, right here on initiation, Kaufman, you can see the front end kind of washes out as he goes off course there. And then he knows he's got to play catch-up. Loses some angle, locks up the front brakes. Gushi through that outside second zone there, now through the inside clip, moving out of the horseshoe, coming down the hill, and then Kaufman shuts it down there. Yeah. You have to imagine that going off course on that inside clip and then also coming up the hill had an impact there overall. Let's take a look at this again. He's on the inside here, and then right there you can see he drops down, but then coming through that smoke line, he transitioned up the hill and also went off course there, and I have to imagine that had an impact on his vehicle.
So interesting turn of events here for Gushi and Kaufman, you know, announcing Kaufman in the top 16, but now it looks like it gets reversed. And Ken Gushi is now in the top 16. Ken Gushi in that Gretty Toyota Racing Toyota 86 on Falcon tires advances on into the top 16. He's going against JTP as Matt Kaufman is knocked out in the 32. So we'll clean that up. But Ryan, crazy turn of events there, huh?
Well, you can see the elation from Gushi's team. It was a really challenging halftime for them.
Okay, so as we are getting the track cleaned up, We find out Gucci will go against JTP in the top 16. We have Lorette Nickel, who's with Chelsea Denofa.
Chelsea Denofa is here. We're so excited because unfortunately Orlando just was not good for you. So in that 2 weeks from Orlando to here, what were you working on?
We got a little bit of an update in the motor and got the ECU and everything tuned out. It's been really, really good. It's been flawless all weekend. It's been really, really running great. I mean, really ecstatic to have that right foot there every time I need it and have the chassis tuned exactly the way it's supposed to. Like each battle, each run's been just like perfect. So it's been really good.
Talk about driver strategy.
I mean, there's a lot of strategy, but reality of it is you got to stay close on that person's door, and on the lead run, you got to put down a 100-point qualifying run. So that's been our goal, and that's what the judges want, so that's what we're going to do.
Best of luck. Thank you.
No problem.
What did he grab the microphone? Yeah. That's an ongoing joke. Did you see somebody else did it earlier? Oh, we are hearing that James Dean is calling a competition timeout, so. No? Okay, so he did not. He did not. So. Competition timeout did not get called by James Dean. I was incorrect there. I thought it did, but I was told by the officials initially, and now he did not call it. So you can see Ken Gucci, quite a change of atmosphere, personality, and overall vibe of the team. All right, so at the top of the hill, James Dean, who qualified 4th, goes against Ryan Turk, who qualified 20th. James Dean pulls to the start line. And Ryan, we got some clarification. Looks like James Dean wasn't pulling to the line, and we're going to call his comp timeout because it was a no-show. But now he's there.
Got to be ready, son.
Got to be ready, son. James Dean, I had some words with Ryan Turk during the halftime breakdown in the Gumout activation booth, and you can see the stats there. James has beat Ryan 2 times, and Ryan Turk is he's got a big goose egg. That's a 0. Yeah, it's unbelievable just the level of driving and the vehicles. But I think this year is really going to be about holding it together, because you can have a wound-up car. It could be 1,000, it could be 1,000,000 horsepower, but it's got to stay together. So that's where it gets interesting. So let's see where it lands. Ryan Turk, James Dean. James Dean again qualifying number 4. Ryan Turk qualifying 20th. James Dean had a bye run in his first run. Ryan Turk taking out his Drift Alliance brother Vaughn Gittin Jr. in that top 32. Who's moving on to the 16? And here we go. Dean out front. Ryan Turk in that chase position. Both these guys got 2 JZs. Here we go. James Dean with a quick little flick, feint initiation, past that first front clip. Powering up into that first outer zone. Both of them right there. Ryan Turk, you can see, taking some angle out of it to get that proximity and closer. And he does just that. Out of the keyhole in the horseshoe. Powering down. Let's see what they got. Hammering down is James Dean and Ryan Turk right there in the mix. Woo! Doctor, look at that.
Well, after some great battles with Vaughn Gittin Jr., Ryan Turk finds himself against the champ James Dean. Does kind of the same thing here. Gets a great start. Keeps the proximity pretty close coming up the hill. Watch how fast he accelerates here. He drops the angle down for a little bit, gets on the brakes, then right here on the inside. Nice job by James Dean through that inside clip. But Turk not letting him get away, keeping the pressure on through the smoke line here as Dean transitions back around to that last inside clip, and Turk is right there, both drivers right at the edge of the course. So a good start here to run number 1.
The Ford top 16 here with Ryan Turk. And James Dean will now lead. Second half of this battle. We already have Peter Visix in the grade 8, excuse me. And we are overhearing sending cars. They are clear to send. You'll see that start light. 5 and extinguish. Send it. Here we go, fellas. Got a clean start. No cones were hit. Ryan Turk in that Gumout. Next in tires, Toyota Racing. Toyota 86. James Dean right there. Wow, James the Machine Dean. Gets right next to him, but then a separation here. Coming to that second outer zone. James Dean gets a lot closer. Lunges forward into that keyhole. We got a battle here. Atlanta, make some noise. Ryan Turk and James Dean. Turk powers away from James Dean. Make some noise, Drifting World.
Well, that's what you came to see. James Dean from the onset, right up on the inside, so close here without making contact, but then Ryan Turk power bands it up the hill. You see some separation here. Turk trying to get away, but still get deep out of that second outer zone. Right on the inside is James Dean, tucking up here through that second inside clip, now leaving the horseshoe, coming down the hill, and Ryan Turk hits that inside touch and go, and James Dean about a car length back as they cross the finish line. Tit for tat, back and forth. Here's the first run again. Ryan Turk in the chase position here through that inside clip, through the smoke line. James Dean going up the hill full power. Turk trying to dive in right here, get some proximity. Dean out to that second outer zone. Very smooth and consistent from James, leaving the horseshoe here, but Ryan Turk keeping the pressure on. And then right here through this last section of the course, you can see Turk a little bit closer than Dean. And then right there, we almost see Turk go off course, but he holds it together.
Results are in, Ryan. We have results. Is it going one more time, or do you think we have a winner? Slide him left for Turk, right for James Dean. And that's a one more time from, that's a one more time. That's a one more time. So these guys are going at it again, but when in doubt, go OMT. So here we are at the top 16. This is the Napa Auto Parts Road to the Championship, and Ken Gucci and Justin Pollock are going against each other.
Yeah, this will be a fun one to call in the studio.
Right, yeah, totally. Thinking about our whole process, right?
Well, it's been a very storied weekend for Ken Gucci, as now he goes up against the #1 qualifier. Justin Pollock has not seen any track action since his bye run earlier on, and now he'll do competition head-to-head for the first time.
All right, JTP out front, our #1 qualifier, Black Magic, top qualifier, winning that Black Magic bling. Whoa, look at Gucci. Like I said, he just has something to prove at this point, but Justin Pollock thrashing into that first zone, into that second, dancing with it, and you can see him pausing. Oh, and Gucci gets into the door. The Falcon tire evidence in the air, and now on JTP's door. Some rubber and paint exchange there between Gucci and Pollock.
He's got something to prove. You can see Pollock has a little bit of a hiccup there on initiation, actually 2 hiccups. Gucci adjusting in the chase position here through the smoke line, pouring it on, trying to keep Justin close, pulling a little bit of angle out of the car for just a second there. You can see Pollock goes off course with that left rear wheel. Gucci taps him right there through that second inside clip, now coming downhill. Gucci goes off course, stays on it. We've seen a couple cars get damaged there, and then a little bit of separation here towards the end. So we've got Pollock with that little kind of wishy-washy initiation, and Gucci going off course, coming out of the keyhole and down the hill. So run 1 is in the books. Let's switch it up. Ken Gucci takes a lead against Justin Pollock.
Ken Gucci there in that position. Like I said, they're exchanging some paint. See Ken Gucci really apply the pressure. And we are getting clear to send cars. And here we go. Here we go, Toyota versus Ford. Ken Gucci throwing it down, Toyota Racing. That Roush performance. Oh, look at that, Justin Pollock falls back quite a bit. And Gucci, great angle into that first outer zone. The Great White Ghost into that front clip, into the keyhole. Justin Pollock brings it out. Who's gonna come out on top, Gucci or Pollock? Toyota or Ford?
Let's take a look at this again here. Gucci sweeping across the middle of the course. Pollock initiating on the inside. Gucci coming down into this front inside clip there. A little bit wonky there in the chase for Pollock. He has to make an adjustment here. Now coming back up the hill. Would love to get Lantane's interpretation on that. You can see Gucci a little bit short on that second outer zone. Pollock was a little bit long there in his lead run. Now outside the keyhole, coming down into this inside touch and go. Pollock's back in it now, fighting through that smoke line. And both drivers through the finish line here to complete the battle.
Results are in, Ryan. Do we have a deciding factor, or are we going one more time? And look at that. Ken Gucci says Ryan. Brian says JTP, and Andy says Ken Gucci gets the win. So after a frustrating top 32, moves on to 16, and now moves on to great 8. So now we are into another top 16 battle. Christophe Bloosh and Forrest Wang, two very different setups, different countries of origin. I mean, these guys, this should be a fun one, but I got to think two very different schools of thought. But the way Forrest Wang has progressed from again, his year off to now where he's at in that Vaptasia Energy Innovations, Achilles Tires, Sylvia, you know, he's not going to be a pushover, but Christophe Bloosh in this Eurofighter, Achilles Tires, HGK, Motul, BMW with that Mass Motorsports engine. This thing's a rocket ship. Christophe initiates. Like I said, Forrest Wang right there, but now that separation happens. Christophe Bloosh. Look at Forrest Wang now lunging forward, but overcooks it. A wide swing. That Super Dupe body kit, like I said, it totally overcooked it. As Forrest Wang absolutely burns the dinner. And there is just a cloud of smoke. That was the deepest we've seen going into the sand, Ryan.
Yeah, that definitely was. And we'll get the right replay up here, but that was a really
that just
good
goes
example
to show
of getting smoked out over here. And I feel like I'm in Mars.
Yeah, where'd everybody go? everybody got just blacked out there. All right, so Wang out front. Wang out front, Bloosh in that chase position. Get nuts out front, that Vaptasia Sylvia S15. Oh, and Bloosh makes a mistake. Bloosh makes a massive mistake. And it looks like that will very well be an incomplete run for him. So Ryan, now this comes down to lead for lead, chase for chase. But
if I recall,
we talked about this.
Yeah,
in the drivers'
if
meeting.
I recall, Chris Forsberg asked the question: if somebody goes into the kitty litter, does that automatically shut down the run if it's done in the chase? And I believe the answer to that was yes. So that would not be a comparison of both leads. It should be two incompletes in the chase that result in a essentially a one more time, because we told the drivers do not complete the rest of the run if somebody spins out in that section of the course.
And we would always default to the flag, even though Forrest Wang did not stop when he saw the flag. We'll get some elaboration on this.
Yeah, typically, Jared, for fans that are watching at home that may be unfamiliar with this, anytime that there's a incomplete in the lead, we always expect, or excuse me, incomplete in the chase, we always expect the lead driver to finish the run because they have the right of way and it's unimpeded in front of them. We never have a track where there's a crossover like this, but when there is a crossover, we institute different rules in order to ensure that we have safety. Right. So typically what would happen is you would compare both lead runs because that's what the judges have to compare. In this case, we don't have that, so it becomes a one more time scenario. And for Christophe Bloosh, a tough break because he was in a good position to win there. Yeah, Christophe was in a great position there, but Forrest Wang caught a lucky break because they're going one more time. Another one more time battle. Ryan, we talked about our cutoff being midnight again, and we won't get anywhere near that. The way things are going, we very well might be getting close to that. A gentleman who is now turning bad luck into the silver lining right now. He's getting a lot of Gucci luck. The Gucci gang, King Captain, that is Ken Gucci. He's with Lorette Nickel.
Ken, obviously a lot of drama to start Atlanta. So how did you battle through all of it?
Oh my God, it was an emotional roller coaster, getting knocked out or supposedly knocked out in 32 against a false call. What happened was a jump start on Kaufman's end, so we had a restart in the beginning of 16 for our top 32 run. Went past him and then went straight into our top 16 battle against Justin Pollock, and he qualified first, so I knew he was carrying a lot of momentum going into the battles. But I mean, I was already boiled, heated up, and ready to just battle anyone in my way. So here we are in a grade 8 now, feeling great.
Ken, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, so there you go. Pollock and Gucci, you can see exchanging a handshake there. So back to another one more time, Ryan, as we are seeing James Dean and Ryan Turk getting prepared for battle, and this is just what we've come to expect here at Atlanta.
Atlanta always delivers in many different ways. Truly some of the best fans in the world that stick around till the end, and we always see crazy competition here. Antics, everything you want, this is what you pay for.
You pay for the whole seat of grass, but you're only going to use none of it, because you're going to be laying down by the end of this, because you're going to be drunk on the action that is Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship, the excitement, and just getting high off of the ridiculousness that is the drifting action. So we now are seeing James Dean, Ryan Turk, OMT. One more time. Already in the grade 8, Ken Gucci will go against Peter Visix, James Dean's Wardhouse Drift Team teammate on Falcon tires. Dean and Turk, their OMT. Bloosh and Wang, their OMT. One more time. Dean out front, Turk in the chase. They're wheel to wheel right now. Let's see if Turk can throw it in like he did on that first run, and he did. James Dean, solid initiation. James Dean up the hill. Ryan Turk chasing him down. James Dean turning it up. Now getting that proximity is Ryan Turk into the keyhole. Transitions back as Ryan Turk and James Dean now back down the hill. Turk right there, past that touch and go, allowing that transition by James Dean, and then goes right back to it. Ryan, it seems like that level of comfort between these two competitors is very high.
Yeah, trust in their partner here. You can see both drivers giving 100%. Turk through that inside section. You can see right there, he pulls a little bit of angle out of the car. A little small mistake there by Ryan Turk. James Dean out front. Very solid and consistent. Turk through the smoke line, now coming down the hill as James Dean hits this inside touch and go. Now Turk really close there, backs off for a second, but doesn't let James Dean get too far away. And again, another solid start here. The first half is done, and now we switch things up as Ryan Turk takes the lead.
All right, so as you can see, our Formula Drift officials, they are cleaning up the course. Look at that massive Mass Motorsports V8 engine under the hood. Just getting some final tuning there. Christophe's Bloosh, little adjustment of the throttle body, wondering what's going on there. Beautiful looking car, that all carbon Kevlar HGK Motorsports kit, the Eurofighter kit, made famous last year at Irwindale. Was to compete at the finals at Irwindale. His primary car blows up, was just going to show that and debut it at Irwindale in AEM's booth, and then, well, guess what? His primary car blows up, so he brings that thing on its maiden voyage at Irwindale. And here we go. We're ready to send it. Ryan Turk out front, gum out. Race service, next entire Toyota, racing Toyota 86 out front. James Dean initiates a little early compared to Turk. Turk takes it out, that front clip. Now into that outer zone. Here comes Ryan Turk in that second outer zone, dances right on the line, allowing James Dean to get to the door of that Toyota 86. James Dean, the Wardhouse Drift Team Falcon tires, S15 right there. Backs off. Ryan, I want to take a look here on initiation. Where does Ryan Turk land? Because like I said, James Dean initiated quite a bit earlier than Turk.
Yeah, you can see he initiates right there, and I don't know if that helped him that much because he didn't really get to angle with Turk. He was able to manage the proximity pretty well. Now coming up the hill, watch, he's going to pull a little bit of angle out of the car here too. Not as extreme as Turk, but Turk does a pretty good job filling that second outer zone. Now you can see Dean right there door to door with Ryan Turk. Transitioning down, headed towards this inside touch and go. Turk a little bit off that inside touch and go, and Dean keeping paces here through the finish line. So these guys are just going at it.
Do we have a winner? Where are my James Dean fans at? Where are my Ryan Turk fans at? Here we go. Slide him left for Turk or right for Dean. Ryan says James Dean. Andy says Ryan Turk, and Brian says James Dean gets the victory. James Dean gets the win. We are going to Dai Yoshihara and Matt Field. more Falcon Tire vehicles. Already, it's all Falcon right now. You already have Gushi, Visix, Dean, and now one of these two gentlemen, Daijiro Yoshihara, who qualified second compared to Matt Field, who qualified 15th. And Matt Field has had one heck of a weekend. Dai Yoshihara, he's been looking flawless. Matt Field on Thursday takes his car hard into the wall. His team gets it back together, sits at 100%. He gets into a tussle with Honadel earlier today. His main sponsor, Wish, he wishes this weekend was over, and hopefully he has a carbon fiber trophy. We will see. As Daijiro Yoshihara will lead, Matt Field will give chase. All right, here we go. Dai Yoshihara, turn 14 distribution, Falcon Tire, BRZ. Nice job by Dai. Matt Field dips his toe into the dirt. Dai Yoshihara, again, number 2 qualifier. Looks like he's got another, basically, essentially a solid qualifying lead run here. Matt Field now gaining the ground in that menacing Corvette in that chase position. Man, Dai Yoshihara is on a tear. Ryan, could he podium again here in Atlanta?
Well, these guys are Falcon Tire teammates, but they are not pulling any punches here, and you can see that evident from the get-go as Dai gets through that first inside clip. Matt Field sticking with them up the hill. Now Dai reaches out to that second outer zone. Maybe could have gone a little bit deeper there, and look at Matt on the inside attacking as now they come down the hill here into this inside touch and go. Field surges forward and has to back off for a second as Dai keeps it consistent through the finish line.
All right, so again, that first half of that battle, Dai Yoshihara, turn 14, distribution, Falcon Tires, BRZ. Matt Field in his Wish, Falcon Tires, Borla, Corvette, again, operated by Drift Cave. Matt Field will now lead the 777. And quite a different vehicle, you know, and story for the weekend. Matt Field really kind of shaking things up, shaking his team and his car up. Dai Yoshihara looking like he just rolled it off the trailer. And here we go with the second half of this battle. Who's moving on? Matt Field. Dai Yoshihara. Field initiates. Nasty initiation there into that front clip. Dai Yoshihara, he really needs to gain some ground here if he really wants to lock this in, and he does that. Oh, Dai! And there comes Dai Yoshihara. Flames being thrown out of the back of that Corvette.
Well, was it enough, or is it too little too late? You can see you really got to get that jump right from the start down into initiation here. Dai lets Matt Field kind of run away a little bit here. Now Dai sees this. He starts getting on the throttle, trying to keep the angle, not cut the line too much. You can see Matt Field in that section of the course on that second outer zone was similar to Dai. Dai now closing the door here. They're driving through their own smoke line down the hill into this inside touch and go, wrapping back around, and Dai and Matt are pretty close together as they cross that finish line.
Scores are in. Daijiro Yoshihara and Matt Field, slide him left for Field, slide him right for Yoshihara. And Ryan says, Dai Yoshihara. Andy says, oh, look at that. Brian says one more time. Andy says, Dai Yoshihara. Daijiro Yoshihara gets the victory, taking out Matt Field here in the top 16. And Ryan, going to you, Dai Yoshihara. Just a little more dominant. Lantaine, talking to you. I know you're taking some notes there, but Dai Yoshihara, more dominant?
Yeah, more dominant. Looked like Field, they had similar bobbles coming up the hill, but Dai just did a better job of mimicking his line, and he also got deeper into outside zone 1 than Matt did on his lead, so felt that he did a better job overall.
Already in the grade 8, Gushi, Visix, James Dean. Now who's going against James Dean in the grade 8? One of these gentlemen in this one more time battle, Christophe Bloosh and Forrest Wang. We saw them really throw down there. Forrest Wang overcooks it into that second outer zone, gets deep into the dust, and throws up a wall looking like the mummy. And here we go. Christophe Bloosh out front. Forrest Wang initiates in that chase position. Bloosh, massive angle there. And this is where Bloosh broke away last time, into that first outer zone. Zeroing into that second outer zone. Forsberg takes a way tighter line, does not go off course, keeps it where the rubber meets the road, and Bloosh pieces out and heads back up the hill. Ryan Forsberg basically throttling back, taking a little out of it just to keep his composure.
Well, he had the right idea here. He stayed nice and tight through this first inside clip, but boom, you can see Christophe is gone, and Forsberg is playing catch up here. He's like 4 or 5 car lengths back. He has to kind of blow a little bit of angle out of the car to close the door. Christophe is not making many mistakes out front. He's not trying to run away. He's getting to all the clips. He's right there on that inside touch and go, and then through that final inside clip. So Christophe is doing what he needs to do as a lead car. We saw Forrest make a little bit of a mistake leaving inside clip number 1.
All right, so here is the second half of this battle. All right, so waiting patiently here as the smoke now created from the smoke machines of Bloosh and Wang. These are some of the smokiest vehicles here. Both these guys on Achilles tire. It's an Achilles tire victory either way. And here comes Wang. Oh, some sparks being thrown there from the back of Bloosh's Eurofighter. Oh, and Wang now pulls away. Bloosh getting really into the dirt. Into that second outer zone. And Forsberg throws some more angle at it. Christophe Bloosh. Wang, massive angle from that Vaptasia Energy Innovations. Achilles tire, Sylvia.
Goodness, wow.
Yeah.
Sparks coming up from Bloosh's car. Forsberg through that inside clip. Bloosh right here, watch, he's gonna go way off course here. You can see the car actually moves quite a bit. He's able to find himself back in a decent position here, but Forsberg was filling that second outer zone. Bloosh and Wang leaving the keyhole together as Wang gets pretty close to that second inside touch and go, but Bloosh right back on it, keeping the pressure on. Here it is again. You can see the sparks there. Now watch Bloosh here, Jared, as he comes around on this transition. He falls back for a second. See how he drives off there? The car really gets pretty wickedly wild there. But amazingly, he was able to get back on it.
Wickedly wild. That's gonna be a quotable, notable quotable there. Results are in. Slide him left for Wang, slide him right for Bloosh, keep him in the middle for an OMT. Ryan says one more time, Andy says Wang, and Brian says one more time.
This is one of those nights, guys.
This is one of those nights. All right, so James Dean is already in the grade 8, but he almost called the competition timeout. Remember how we kind of had a little hiccup there? Well, Lorette found out why.
James Dean told me there's a couple of small issues that keep popping up. So James, are you able to control those issues?
Yeah, we're able to control them, but it's been one of those weekends where seem to be fighting a lot of small niggly problems with the car. We found one of the biggest things right before our top 16 battle with Ryan Turk. It seemed every lap I was driving on the track, when I finished the run, the steering wheel position was like different. So it was very unpredictable, the car, especially on the entry. But we found a problem with the steering rack bush. Managed to just fix it right before our battle with Ryan. And in the making, right coming up to that, I was correcting my steering wheel and I was pulling the wheel off and I bust my lip. So I was pouring blood right before our battle, but it's all good. We managed to calm down right before we went on track, and the car is probably feeling its best so far this weekend. We had a really close battle with Ryan. I made some mistakes in both runs, to be honest. I don't know what call it. I couldn't see it from my position, but we're into top 8. I'm feeling good, and the car is getting better with each run, so let's hope we can have some luck.
James, thanks.
Thank you very much.
Ryan, I feel like this is quite a contrast from the James Dean from last year. He seems a bit more panicked, a little bit more, experience under his belt, and with that comes more abuse on the car.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, he is very calm, cool, and collected, but it is really hard to stay that way all the time, especially with all the challenges that can come head on in this level of competition, in these conditions, at this event. So he's doing the best he can to handle it, and you know, we'll find out who's going to take him on, whether it's Bloosh or Wang. But now we are moving on to Chris Forsberg and Michael Essa.
2 champions, 4 champions between them. Chris holding 3, Essa holding 1. The winner of this going against Dio Shihara. Chris Forsberg initiates. Oh, and Essa, a big correction there from Michael Essa. Looks like he bulks up and goes off course as Forsberg. And then NOS entering 370Z into that second outer zone and tightens up to that front clip. And out of that horseshoe into that final front clip, and Forsberg.
Well, Jared, we've been talking about the initiation pretty much all weekend. You can see Michael Essa trying to fit himself in as best he can, but not able to complete that there. And then he falls back quite a way. So that's going to be a very important factor for the judges to look at on that first run. Essa playing catch up here. Let's keep a look at the line for Chris Forsberg as he wraps around that final inside clip. Could have been a little bit deeper in that second outer zone, but here it is from Essa again. You can see Forsberg right back on throttle through that first inside clip, so that should be acceptable for the lead driver there. It just looks like a little bit of a mistake from Essa, maybe misjudging that coming down the hill.
And here we go with the second half of this battle. And how is Michael Essa going to fare now with the clean air? As he will lead, Forsberg will give chase. And looks like we got a clean track, just waiting for a little bit of smoke to dissipate. Never let go of that microphone, bro. There it is, Van Kirk. Sorry, again, some more signs and some interviews. Some inside jokes, but right now it's about to be who is inside the grade 8 from 16. Michael Essa out front. Essa initiates into that front clip. Forsberg giving himself quite a bit of distance here. Can he gain some ground? Because Essa is ripping into that first outer zone, into the second, now into the keyhole. Forsberg lacking some angle there, but now throwing it down. Essa really putting on a solid performance out front. Let's take a look at this again here, Ryan.
Essa initiating right there. You can see a little bit of e-brake pull, but gets back on throttle just past that first inside clip. Forsberg gave him a little bit of space. Now trying to close the door up the hill, a little bit less angle from Forsberg. Now he gets right in the pocket there, but you can see Michael Essa does not fill that second outer zone, goes long on that inside clip. Forsberg takes advantage of it on the inside. Michael Essa coming down the hill. Forsberg getting pretty close here. Nice smoke screen by Michael Essa. And then watch Forsberg right here lose a little bit of angle there before the finish line. So it's no easy calls tonight.
So quickly the results are in. Essa and Forsberg. Slide him left for Essa, right for Forsberg. And Chris Forsberg gets the win. Chris Forsberg gets the win, advancing on that mistake there by Michael Essa. Too big to make up as we are advancing on. This is Frederick Osbo versus Dan Burkett. Frederick Osbo against second overall. So Osbo waiting on the line, that Rockstar energy drink. Toyota Racing, Toyota Corolla on Nexen Tires. Dan Burkett also on Nexen Tires, the Rad Industries Toyota Supra. Everybody clearing out, and we are ready to send it here. The Napa Auto Parts Road to the Championship, presented by Rain-X. Round 3 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship. And here we go. Osbo out front, the Norwegian Hammer versus Rad Dan. Clean start for the Toyota Corolla through the start chicane. Frederick Osbo initiates, Rad Dan right there. Some shimming there by Dan Burkett, and he gets way out of line as Osbo performs it, no problem. Exits out of the keyhole. And just unfortunately for Dan Burkett, it was over just shortly thereafter it began.
Well, once again, the initiation comes into play here. Osbo right at that last standing cone. Burkett on the inside here. Osbo back on the throttle. Nice and early through that first inside clip, but Dan gets a little bit out of whack. You can see he's not a factor here. Now trying to play catch up. Osbo into that second outer zone. Pretty decent job there. Nice and tight on that second inside clip. But Dan Burkett just way behind and not able to catch Frederick Osbo. No surprise there. You really got to get the timing right. You can see both drivers on the brakes there for a second, and then Osbo getting back on the throttle right at that first inside clip. So we're mixing things up now. Dan Burkett will go to the lead. Frederick Osbo will chase him down.
And here we go. 15 years, man. It's crazy to think all the memories, all the tires burned here. Rad Dan, sophomore season for him. And here he comes. Rad Dan Burkett into that first front clip. Heads up the hill. Frederick Osbo right there in tow as Dan Burkett fills that second outer zone. But Frederick Osbo, everywhere Dan goes, Osbo is right there with that hot hatchback. Just a dominant force by Osbo, showing you why he's our current points leader.
Well, no doubt his spotter was in his ear. He knew what he had to do here on this second run. Gives a little bit of room on the initiation. We know how challenging that section of the course can be in these tandem battles. You can see Osbo pulling a little bit of angle out of the car, but he gets nice and close here. Dan has that mistake in run number one. Osbo now putting the pressure on as Dan wraps through that inside touch and go. Nice fluid motion to the finish line, but really it's going to come down to that first run.
The scores are in. Slide them left for Burkett or slide them right for Frederick Osbo. And there it is. The Norwegian Hammer gets the victory unanimously. Osbo moves on to the Great Eight. Two more battles left, and one of them is the second one more time. Christophe Bloosh and Forrest Wang. And speaking of Forrest Wang, Lorette Nickel is with the Vaptasia NRG Innovations Achilles Tire Get Nuts lead scientist Forrest Wang.
Looking at the numbers, Forrest Wang is going on his fourth one more time battle. So Forrest, how are the energy levels?
It's tough right now, honestly. I mean, being suited up in these race cars here in Atlanta, it's hot. It's really hot. So, I mean, I'm just drinking a lot of water, trying to stay hydrated, and, you know, hopefully, well, this is the last one more time for this round, so hopefully we come out on top.
How do you advance?
We just got to bring it 100%, stick it to his door, and do a solid lead run.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Christophe Bloosh waits on the line as Forrest Wang heats up another set of Achilles tires. The back end of that Vaptasia NRG Innovations Achilles tire. Sylvia, Christophe Bloosh waits on the line patiently from Latvia on that Eurofighter HGK Motul Achilles tire BMW. And we are still in the top 16. Two more battles left to find out who is in the Great Eight. We are live here at round 3 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship. Who's going to come on top, Ryan? Bloosh or Wang? What do you think?
It's tough. I mean, Wang really needs to stay on it and get on it through the uphill section of the course. I think if he can do that, he definitely has a fighting chance. Bloosh has been real consistent, but as Lantane alluded to, it was really his battle to lose in the last heads up.
All right, here we go. Bloosh out front, Wang in the chase position. Good initiation by Bloosh. Separation already, and that's what you talked about. This is where Bloosh just pulls away from Forrest Wang, and Forrest Wang overcooked it on the second one, the first run, but now seems like he found that sweet spot. But watch Bloosh again. He turns it on and just says peace to Forrest Wang. And Bloosh in that Eurofighter BMW, he loves that clean air.
Well, I think Forrest did a better job than the first time around, but you can still see Bloosh was able to pull out ahead of him while still hitting the inside clips, outer zones, and not running away from him. He's doing a pretty good job coming up the hill here, keeps angle in the vehicle, pretty deep into that second outer zone. Now Forrest closing the door through the second inside clip. Look at the incredible amount of smoke coming off of Christophe Bloosh's car, as well as Forrest Wang. And then we see this final little blast from Christophe to pull a gap against Forrest, as now they'll switch things up. Forrest Wang going to the lead position. Christophe Bloosh trying to solidify his position in the Great Eight.
Yeah, totally blasted that gap there on the way up the hill. And now we'll see Forrest Wang out front. And Christophe Bloosh will chase him down. The flag's barely moving here at the food vendors and the activation. So the smoke, definitely a problem and another factor here for these drivers. But now we're clear to send. The big Wang in the face, the Big Country Laboratories wing in the face of Christophe Bloosh. Past that front clip. Forrest Wang, oh, look at there. Bloosh now finds the door of Forrest Wang into that second outer zone, throwing up some dust into the drift scum, knocking over that front clip. And this is where Bloosh messed up last time. Can he keep it together as he transitions out? And Ryan, I think that's going to be, unfortunately, all she wrote for Forrest Wang and that Vape-Tasia S15 Sylvia. You can see Christophe Bloosh, his crew guy, cheering him on.
Well, clearly that was the best that we've seen from Christophe, at least in this battle, in the chase, in trying to solidify his position into the Great 8, but Forrest Wang is not giving it away easy. You can see he's shooting up here towards the second outer zone. He does drop that left rear wheel, so just mistimes out a little bit. Now through this second inside clip, Bloosh through the smoke line. Forrest trying to pour on the angle here. Hits that inside touch and go. Nice snap back around, but you can see Christophe keeping with them.
All right, results are in. Bloosh and Wang, and after 4, one more times, is Wang advancing or is Bloosh getting the win? Christophe Bloosh gets the win. Slide him right for Christophe Bloosh, and he moves on. Alec Honadell chucking a deuce as Honadell and Denofa will be going against each other. All right, hold up your cell phone lights as these guys go by. Light up the night here. This is our final battle of top 16. Everybody just hold them up so everybody lights it up. Oh, you got strobes? You fancy, though. Strobe lights? Yeah, there you go. There you go. Here we go, our final battle of top 16. Let's get this drift rave going. Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship. I don't have any sweet beats for you. DJ Ryan Sage, where you at? All right, here's our final battle of top 16. Hold them up. Who's going to win? Where are my Chelsea Denofa fans at? Where are my Alec Honadell fans at? Where are my drifting fans at? Let's send the cars already, Pat. These people's arms are tired, bro. All right, everybody put them down. Everybody put them down. Everybody put your lights down. You're going to put them up when they go by you. Shine your lights on them. Here we go. Chelsea Denofa, Alec Honadell. Chelsea Denofa initiates into that first clip. Alec Honadell in tow right past that first outer zone into the second outer zone. Chelsea Denofa, great angle. Alec Honadell transitioning past. Great job by Denofa out front. Alec Honadell not getting shaken. Everybody light up the night. Put up your phones.
Well, Chelsea Denofa has kind of been setting the standard this weekend, has had some crazy runs in qualifying and really given a performance here as a lead driver. But Alec Honadell has been one to watch, keeping the pressure on here. Denofa as they go up the hill. Denofa right here, sinking one into that second outer zone. A little bit tighter on that inside line is Alec Honadell taking out that inside clip, but just barely. Now coming down the hill, you can see Denofa right on that inside touch and go, snappy transition back around, and on it, Alec Honadell surging as they cross the finish line. So run 1 in the books.
Now Alec Honadell will be out front. Chelsea Denofa giving chase. Again, the final battle of our top 16. Already in. Gushi, Visix, Dean versus Bloosh, Yoshihara versus Forsberg, and Osbo versus the winner of this battle, Denofa or Honadell. Send it, here we go. Out of the start chicane, here comes Honadell. Into that first front clip. Honadell, good angle, Denofa right there, transitioning up. You see some sparks and some dust flying from Denofa. Into that smoke trail goes Honadell. See Honadel throws a massive angle at it. Chelsea Denofa really getting off course there. And now transitioning past that final front clip. Getting pretty rowdy out there, living up to it.
Well, look at this initiation right at the same time here. Denofa keeping the pressure on, but Alec Honadel looking smooth and consistent out front, heading up the hill here. That's where Denofa went off course for a second. You can see the sparks. Takes that little bit of a shower line, has to make an adjustment. Honadel through that second inside clip, now coming down the hill, looking to hit this inside touch and go. Denofa keeping the pressure on as both drivers come through. Another solid battle here to find out who's going to be our last driver in the Grade 8.
Gushi and Visix will go against each other. Ken Gushi, who fought from that 32 not once but twice as he had to finish it out here. But when we're entering the 16, he goes through JTP, and now he'll go against Visix. Visix goes against Mohan, and now the results are in for Denofa and Honadel. Slide him left for Honadel, right for Denofa. Ryan says Chelsea Denofa. Andy says one more time, and Brian says Chelsea Denofa. Denofa gets the win. Chelsea Denofa gets the win. Here the top 16 is done. The Grade 8 is shaped up as we will continue with more action here at the Napa Auto Parts Road to the Championship presented by Rain-X. All right, how we doing out there, Road Atlanta? We are about to begin our Grade 8 here at round 3 of the Formula Jet Black Magic Pro Championship. I have a special guest up here, great friend of mine, Vaughn Gittin Jr. Vaughn, how we doing, homeboy?
I am wonderful. What's up, Atlanta? Man, I love this crowd every year. You know, normally I'm not having this perspective, but, you know, we've been coming here for 15 years, and I don't say this at every round like I hear a lot of people saying it. This is my favorite track. This is my favorite crowd. They know how to party. They know how to have fun. They know drifting. They love, they hate, but all of it is fun.
and yeah, talking about, unfortunately, you went against Drift Alliance brother Ryan Turk. You're out, like you said, but you're here to cheer on Chelsea Denofa.
Yeah, man. You know, we've had an interesting start to the season. Some new engine program we've been really dialing in, and this weekend we've worked a lot of the bugs out. Turk and I had an epic battle, and I'm just pumped to be here cheering on Chelsea. You know, I just had an interesting reflection this year. You know, again, to celebrate 15 years. You know, 15 years ago, I took off work early, drove down here on my open car trailer in the car that I built in my garage.
Yep.
And, you know, battled Chris Forsberg in 04 here. He beat me. I got 4th. He got 3rd. And, you know, here we are 15 years later. Look how big this is.
It's unbelievable.
You know, I have 2 cars now. The RTR Motorsports team is growing. And the sport's growing, and it's because of everybody here just being amazing, all the fans, all the partners, and yeah, I'm having a blast and enjoying some. What is going on the track these days is just insane.
Right?
I don't ever watch. I don't want to watch. I try to stay in my own world, but this is nuts.
You're looking at the multiple one more times between Bloosh and Wang. Wang did 4 one more times. You know, you got Turk and Dean. They went one more time. You have over here the accents between Carney and all the carnage there. I mean, it's crazy. And I think, would you agree that just anybody could win nowadays? I mean, just give a whole climate from top to bottom.
For sure, and that's what makes it a lot of fun. You know, it used to be like, who you got in top 32, you'd have to, like, slow the car down. Now, like, straight up, we had a lockdown setup on our car. Yep. All weekend because we have to now. Yep. And you know what? Like, that makes it fun. I'm proud that the level is there where everybody gets to shine, and you don't go out because, you know, there's a slower guy or this or that. It's go time. Everybody's pushing it. And honestly, that's why I've been here for 15 years. You know, and constantly being pushed, constantly new things, learning new things, and you know, that's what keeps it fun.
And adapting. Who's going to win tonight?
Chelsea Denofa, hands down. What do y'all think? I know the Team Rowdy crew knows that Chelsea's going to win tonight. There we go.
All right, well, here
Rock
we go.
roll.
Thank you, Vaughn.
Have fun, you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Vaughn. And we are going back to the Grade 8 action, and we are about to light it up. So literally and figuratively, thank you, brother. Thank you, Vaughn. And we are moving on to our first battle of the Grade 8, Gushi versus Visix. You loving this stuff or what, Atlanta? Yeah, man. All right. So I ask you to, once again, once you see, once I tell you, hold up your lights. And we are getting ready for our first battle of the Great Eight. And we are sending cars. We're ready to send it here for our first battle of the Great Eight. Wordhouse Drift Team, Falcon Tires against Ken Gushi, Gretty, Toyota Racing, Falcon Tire, Toyota GT86. Put up your lights, Atlanta, light them up. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Here we go. Peter Visix past that first front clip. Ken Gushi dropped back quite a bit into that second outer zone. Now transitioning into that first front clip. In that second, excuse me, into the keyhole. Now transitioning back down, Peter Visix. And there it is. So shut him down as the cars go round. Ryan, let's take a look at this here again.
Well, Piotr looking pretty solid out front. You can see he rolls right through that first inside clip with his throttle on. Gushi through the smoke line, trying to keep pace with Piotr as they head into that second outer zone. Gushi trying to close the door here now. Big smoke plume coming up from Visix. This last and final transition, you can see a little bit of separation here. And now they'll switch things up. Ken Gushi has had a very storied event. He'd like to take it one step further, but Peter Visix laying down a clean lead run. Now Gushi's got to do the same.
Ken Gushi, you can see him airing out his cockpit as Peter Visix. Smoke all over the track, Falcon Tire strewn everywhere. All right, so a lot of smoke here on track. And here we go with the second half of this battle, Gushi and Visix. Gushi through the start chicane. We have a clean start, no cones hit, no strikes. Gushi initiates Visix. Nice job by Gushi. Visix drops back a little bit, but now lunges forward. And look at this, the Polish driver nudging that of Ken Gushi, just really making his presence felt. As Ken Gushi, look at massive angle from Gushi. Solid job by Gushi in the lead. Ryan, let's break this down again.
Well, nobody is holding back here. Ken Gushi initiated that last standing cone. Piotr right on the inside from the get-go as they pass through that first inside clip. Piotr doing a great job in the chase position, trying to keep Gushi's distance as small as possible. Took a little bit of angle out of the car coming up the hill, but he keeping good proximity here. Now leaving the keyhole, coming down the hill. Ken Gushi, big angle here. A little bit long on that last inside touch and go, but great job on that final clip. But there you see Piotr in his mirror. So now both runs are done, and we go to the judges.
Going to the judges, I believe we already have a verdict. Slide him left for Gushi, slide him right for Visix, Piotr. And Ryan, Andy, and Brian. Peter Visix gets the win after a solid performance in Long Beach. He is back in podium contention here to the Final Four. All right, so before we move on to our next battle, that has James Dean versus Christophe Bloosh. Lorette Nickel caught up with the Latvian driver.
2 one-more-time battles against Forrest Wang. I heard you say that you made a few mistakes, so how do you dial that in for your battle against James Dean?
As I said, we just have to stay focused, make as less mistakes as possible, because with Forrest it was pretty shaky runs. The first one kicked me out of the mood because the engine shut it down in the first corner. So then we got back one more time. That was, again, a bit shaky, but on the third one it was really clean run, and I'm looking forward to do the same exactly with the James Dean. He's a great driver, he's defending champion, so I can trust him. I know
everybody's seen James Dean and how he's driving. You got to have a sense of confidence going against that drivability, that line, and what's to be expected. Christophe Bloosh has taken him out before. Look at this, equally matched. Again, 900 horsepower, 2 very different cars, very different countries of origin. But James Dean, that 2JZ powered Silvia, and then Christophe Bloosh in that Mass Motorsports V8 powered Eurofighter E92 BMW. This should be a really fun one to watch. I think you want to pull out your phones on this one. Hashtag FDATL. Tag us at Formula D. This is going to be a solid Insta video or IG video. Watch this. I guarantee it. James Dean, they're either going to burn it down or this is going to be a door-to-door match. James Dean, Christophe Bloosh throwing it in. James Dean with that fake entry. Oh no, some separation there. Off the bat, James Dean separates. But then Christophe Bloosh gains the ground back. Into that second outer zone goes James Dean. Christophe shortens it up. And now they transition out of the keyhole and approach that final clip. Christophe finally gains some ground, but he goes off course a little bit.
Well, once again, we see just how important the initiation is. You can see Christophe was side by side right there, and he had to move out of the way for Dean, give him the right of way. And there was a little bit of separation, but Dean went really far past that inside clip, almost into the kitty litter. So now you can see Dean up top in that second outer zone. You can see the lack of angle right there as Christophe tries to attack. Dean now down the hill, big angle here. Christophe's closing the door, but then looks like his front left wheel kind of goes off the track, and he's kind of pushed in a weird way. He's able to maintain it and hold it together, but now we're going to switch things up as Christophe Bloosh goes to the lead position, and James Dean will chase him down.
And here we go. Christophe Bloosh will lead. And James Dean will give chase. Bloosh initiates. Straight line approach. Nice job from him. Christophe Bloosh pulling that second out. And now out of that keyhole. A smoke from Bloosh. James seems to buy that Eurofighter BMW.
Well, Dean really timed the initiation right. You can see right there, he tucks up on the inside, but as soon as Christophe gets on the gas before that inside clip, he is gone, blasting up the hill. Have you ever seen this before? Dean having to play catch up. Look at Bloosh filling that second outer zone to get a little bit closer here. Back on it again, rockets away. That inside touch and go, but tight on that final inside clip. And where is James Dean?
All right, so both runs are assessed. Look at that, the fans. Let's take a look at the side-by-side. Brian?
Well, you can see with Dean in the left side of the screen, Bloosh in his lead on the right-hand side of the screen. Some of the differences here. Here's Bloosh in that separation. Bloosh closing the door on the left screen. And then as they cross through this inside hill, you can see that Bloosh. Dean out front, big angle. Watch Bloosh right here on the left side. You can see he gets a little out of whack, but he seemed to have the duration of proximity a little bit longer.
And the results are in. Christophe Bloosh versus James Dean. Slide him left for Bloosh, right for Dean. Ryan says Christophe Bloosh. Brian says one more time, and Andy says Christophe Bloosh takes out the defending champion. So Bloosh, who qualified 5th, takes out James Dean. It will not be a Wordhouse Drift Team battle. We saw this earlier this year, and now to another pair of champions, Dai Yoshihara versus Chris Forsberg. We're on the second of the grade 8 on the other side of the bracket. Peter Visix, Christophe Bloosh in the final 4. Now it's Dai Yoshihara, who qualified number 2, going against our number 7 qualifier, Chris the Force Forsberg. Dai Yoshihara looks very controlled, like the way he's driving. He's very fast. He's in that turbocharged LS, turn 14 distribution, Falcon tire, Subaru BRZ. Chris Forsberg in his VQ setup now. Fast Intentions AMS prepared. NOS Energy Drink 370Z on Nexen tires. Here we go. Send it, fellas. 2 Formula Drift veteran since day 1. 30 years of drifting professional experience in the books. Dai Yoshihara throws it in, past that front clip, up the hill into that first outer zone. Both these guys making crazy noises from these cars. And Chris Forsberg takes out that front clip out of the keyhole. Here comes Dai Yoshihara down the hill into that final front clip. So you saw some separation there from Forsberg, but he relatively stayed close. Dai Yoshihara with a solid lead run. He put the car in all the right places.
Well, let's see Dai initiating just past that last standing cone. Forsberg on the inside here. Dai trying to get up the hill as quickly as he can, but Forsberg keeping an eye on him here. Enter the keyhole. Dai goes deep into that second outer zone. Forsberg with him on the inside here, nearly touching door to door. Transitioning back around, you can see Daijiro Yoshihara nice and tight on that touch and go, but Forsberg is right there, pulls back for a second, and we finish up another solid half run, switching things up now.
Forsberg will now lead. Daijiro will give chase. Forsberg out front. Looks like we are getting a clipping point out of the way. Track is clear of debris, but smoke still lingers, but not as thick as we've seen previously. And here we go, the second half of this battle. Forsberg will lead. Yoshihara gives chase. Throws it in into that first front clip. Past that first front clip, Dai takes it out. Forsberg powers up the hill. Dai Yoshihara dips a toe in the dirt. Forsberg into that second outer zone, rides that line. Into the front clip goes Forsberg. Dai Yoshihara out of the keyhole. Forsberg angles past that first touch and go, that final and front touch and go, and past that front clip. Striking when the striking is hot, Chris.
Well,
Ryan.
Well, we've seen Forsberg in the last 2 rounds really be able to make adjustments to the vehicle that give him a lot of speed and grip. And you can see he pulls away from Dai here. Dai's trying to close the door. He made that mistake coming up the hill. Forsberg goes deep into that second outer zone, tight on that inside clip. And right here on the throttle, he blasts away from Daijiro Yoshihara. Just a bit off that inside touch and go was Forsberg, but Dai quite a bit of ways as they cross the finish line there. And this is the first run. You can see Dai does a good job getting on throttle here through that first inside clip. But Forsberg keeps his eye on him here, coming up the hill, keeping it pretty close, about a car length distance. Dai does a great job. Forsberg tries to follow him deep into that zone, really tight here through that inside clip. And then right here, this is where Forsberg starts to pour it on, as Dai does a great job with his lead line. Forsberg falls back for a second, but he does keep it closer than Dai did on his chase run that we just saw. So now the judges have both runs.
Man, and again, it just seems like Forsberg is just finding this extra power here towards the latter portion of competition. Like you said, slide him left for Forsberg, right for Yoshihara, and Ryan, Andy, and Brian. Forsberg gets the win. It's unanimous. Forsberg gets the win and the wings, if they're vegan, as we have 3 drivers in the final 4. One more battle left here in the Great 8. You can see up the top of the hill, again, just a different perspective. And again, thank you to Lorette Nickel getting some insight from the drivers and the teams. These are, they are really put through the paces here tonight.
Yeah, this is a long weekend. Interesting battle here, Jared. I know it's very early in the season, but we should talk about it. With Forsberg going into the final 4, Osbo here is an opportunity for Chris to attack in the championship chase.
It was Osborough dropping the hammer. You guys having fun out there, Atlanta? Here we go, the final battle of the Great 8. Who's moving on, Osbo or Denofa? Osbo comes in, Denofa right there. Oh man, look at Denofa, three-wheel motion, styles for miles. As Osbo fills that first outer zone, into that second outer zone, goes Osbo and Denofa. Almost comes around, but he holds on to it. And now back down the hill goes Osbo and Denofa. Man, make some noise, Atlanta!
Denofa looking incredible. Osbo with his lead run, very solid out front, but Denofa's eye on where he can attack here. The pressure is on from Denofa. Great job by Frederick Osbo. Zone right here, Denofa makes a little bit of a mistake on that inside line, taking out that clip. But down the hill here, you can see pretty close together. Osbo with that lead run that we expect from him, that we see from him so often. But Denofa in the fight, taking it to Frederick Osbo, the current leader, now switching things up, putting the pressure on Frederick Osbo to perform at that level.
Osbo with a very settled Toyota Corolla here. How is he going to chase down this wild style Mustang RTR? Again, the BC Racing, Nitto Tire, Ford Performance Mustang RTR, rounding out the RTR team. Von Gittin Jr., team owner, watches on as Frederick Osbo will be chasing him down in that Rockstar energy drink. Next, entire Toyota Racing Toyota Corolla. Send it, Atlanta, Denofa and Osbo. Denofa, nasty initiation. Takes out that front clip. Osbo reeling him in. Denofa, killer angle, gets out, doesn't get all the way to the outside zone of the second one. Through the keyhole goes Denofa and Osbo. And bringing it on down, Osbo right there, riding shotgun with Denofa. A wild ride, Mr. Toad's wild ride right there, Ryan.
Well, Denofa making it interesting here. Osbo keeping the pressure on. Denofa a bit inside on that inside clip. Osbo with the separation, but you can see reeling him in. A little bit short here is Denofa on that second outside zone. Here comes Frederick Osbo through the smoke line, attacking on the inside. Denofa throttling downhill, hitting that inside touch and go. Look at that movement, that switchback right there. Frederick Osbo keeping it tight. Incredible battle, and you can see the teams up top very close here between Chelsea Denofa and Frederick Osbo.
Seems they have a verdict. We already got a chance at one more time, but that was a quick verdict here. Slide him left for Denofa, right for Osbo. Ryan says Frederick Osbo, Andy says Frederick Osbo, and it's unanimous. Frederick Osbo gets the win. and boos are coming out. So our final four is set. When we come back, Peter Visix versus Christophe Bloosh. Then you have Chris Forsberg versus Frederick Osbo. When we come back, our final four is set. Round 3 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship. All right, let's get a light wave going. All right, let's get a light wave going. Get out your lights. No? You don't want one? Yeah, you guys got jokes and signs. I could end this party right now. Are you guys having fun, Atlanta? There we go. I got you back. I want you back for good. That was a great 90s pop song, by the way. All right, so the final four is here. And Ryan, we got Peter Visix versus Christophe Bloosh. Everything you've seen earlier tonight, who do you think is going to come out on top?
It's a tough call. You know, we've seen Bloosh just be absolutely fantastic. He had that great qualifying run yesterday. He's continued that momentum. He's had a little bit of trouble in certain areas. He's had to go a few more times. But when he's on, he's pretty much unbeatable in my mind. And if he can really focus on what he needs to do here against a great driver like Piotr, he's got a chance. But Piotr has just been so consistent, and that is a major factor in all this.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. You look at what Christophe Bloosh has done. Again, those multiple one more times against Wang, and then going against Dean. He knows how Dean has driven. He knows how the vehicle can perform, but Visix has not had to prove himself over and over. So Piotr will be chasing down Christophe Bloosh. Latvia versus Poland. BMW versus... Let's go with this. Nissan, Toyota, little combo, V8, BMW. It's a ragtag. Here we go. Christophe Bloosh in the Eurofighter out front. Into that first front clip. Piotr right there in the mix, and that's what we're talking about. Consistency is key, but Piotr falls back a bit. Christophe Bloosh into that second outer zone goes Christophe. And Christophe is just on a tear, the Eurofighter with an uppercut.
So Piotr getting out of whack. This is we just talked about consistency. He starts off really strong. Look at this, right there, door to door, but then falls back. And you can see Christophe is on the throttle pretty much immediately through that first inside clip. Watch, lets it float out. Boom, right back on throttle there, filling that second outer zone. Now Piotr trying to catch up here. Now something gets really weird here. There's so much smoke on course, it's really hard to see, but watch as Christophe passes this last inside clip. Watch right here. You can see Piotr.
He drifts past the finish line, and it was, but looks like he rotated.
I think we're going to have to isolate that with the cam from turn one. Let's watch it again here. I think this is locked off. Yeah, it is. So we kind of know what happened here. We were seeing Piotr playing catch-up. Now as they come back down the hill, let's see if this has got it. We're going to see it just come into frame here. Piotr is basically spinning out. Let's see if this angle catches it better. Watch this. Here we go, Jared. I think we're going to get it. Yep. So big angle there before the finish line and not finishing it cleanly. I mean, that's the minimum that you can say.
Yeah, so we are seeing Bloosh throw down. Bloosh and Visix. Oh no, so Visix now looking at his vehicle here. And Visix inside of his vehicle. And all right, I have to assume this is going to be okay. So this is a competition timeout. You can see the 5 minutes already starting. Kevin Wells up there making sure the alignment is good. That was an interesting turn of events, man. Ryan.
Well, I just wanted to see if we could bring in Lantain for a second. I wanted to get his take on what shots they were locking off here from the judges' stand to look at what Piotr did there on that last inside clip and whether or not that was before the finish line and how you guys are looking at that so far while we wait here.
Yeah, we looked at the replay quite a few times, and it looked like Piotr went over the finish line backwards. If you look at where he kind of exited the corner, if you will, got to the outside edge of the track, it was before the end of the track, before the finish line, and he was already pretty much backwards going over that finish line. So I think the majority of us here are giving him incomplete for that.
Wow. So yeah, look at that. So that's an incomplete run for Piotr Visix, and we talked about that consistency. There's James Dean. It looks like he's ready to find out what's going on with his car, getting his teammates. So now Piotr Visix needs Christophe Bloosh to mess up. You can see James the Machine Dean there taking a look at this vehicle. And the clock is ticking here for Piotr. And this is just an angle and a perspective that not a lot of people get to see, and us included, Ryan. I mean, we've been down. You know, I never get to see it. I've been down here in the judges' tower, but the chaos that exists at the top of the tower, especially when it comes down to the Final Four, is just thick.
Yeah. No, I mean, every night after the event, when we sit down and have a final run through, the stories that come from the hot pit are out of this world, and we're finally catching some of it. You and I are up here, and we've got our own stuff going on. But the hot pit guys, what's going on with the teams, all the running around, the making changes, stuff that you don't necessarily get to see until we implemented this camera and Loretta up there. It's really been a great opportunity to really catch some of the stuff that doesn't normally get seen. Let's take a look here again and watch Pieter's chase run. You can see he has that mistake early on. He's starting to play catch up here. Now remember, Ryan Lantane commented on some of what the feelings are with regards to Pieter and that last inside clip. This shot, we're going to see just a glimmer of it, but it's really that other angle that gives you the best perspective. Right here, you can see he's spinning out right before the finish line, at least not holding angle there. But it was that other angle from the tower that really gave us the best perspective. And the judges asking for that. They saw it. Looks like Pieter's ready to go. He will have used his competition timeout with a minute left.
That's exactly when you want to use it. I mean, he's only got one more opportunity after this in the finals, and who knows what's going to transpire there.
We were asked to look at the contact at interclip 1 to assess fault in case there was a need to use competition timeouts or if anybody needed to look at their car. Piotr already used his 5-minute competition timeout to look at his car, but we had deemed the fault on him anyway, so he would have had to use his competition timeout to look at his car.
Got it.
As it was his fault.
Got it. Wait, you're saying he already used his comp timeout?
No, he just used it now to realign the car.
I thought you meant previously.
No, just now. Exactly.
Yeah, I couldn't recall that. Okay.
Christophe could have looked at his car if he wanted to, as it was not his fault for that contact. But since Christophe's, I don't believe anything was damaged on his car, he didn't have to check his car.
Yeah, more cosmetic.
Yeah, just clarifying.
Right. Okay, thank you very much, Ryan Lantane. So we are, again, here in the first portion of the Final Four. The fans sticking around. Look at all the signs, all the fans. The pandemonium that is Formula Drift Atlanta. You can see the Piotr signs. This guy's bald under this hat. There you go. Take off the hat then. Yeah, there it is. Skin to win. Send pizza. Looks like he crushed it all. Again, the Maximum Drift Cast, Rowdy Cast competition, signed competition, win a AM intake, AM induction system. So it looks like both vehicles are on the start line. And we are ready to see the second half of this battle. Remember, Piotr Visix, he was deemed an incomplete run. So now Piotr will lead with that incomplete under his belt. Christophe Bloosh will give chase. Cameras getting affixed. And after this, we'll see the second half of the Final Four, which poses Chris Forsberg, who qualified 7th, going against Osbo, who qualified 3rd. Bloosh going to the finals. That would mean regardless, Osbo or Forsberg would podium. And what order to be decided. So again, a lot on Peter Visix's plate. Here we go. Visix out front, Bloosh in that chase position. Sparks go flying again. And Bloosh comes out, a wide swing there from Bloosh as Visix into that second outer zone. The Falcon Tire Wordhouse Drift Team S15 being chased down by that HGK Latvian Eurofighter BMW. And around that final clip, and it looks like that will be Christophe Bloosh getting the victory.
Bloosh makes me a little bit nervous here. Yeah, this goes back to Orlando a couple of years ago. Obviously, his spotter has to know that he's got a very sizable advantage given what Ryan had said about his evaluation on run number 1. He does a pretty good job giving a little bit of distance, not too much, keeping him close, and then right here laying it on and not making any fatal mistakes that would force it one more time. So that should be enough for Christophe Bloosh, given what we know about run 1.
You can see the team looking on. They're watching the live stream because they don't get the full perspective. And it looks like the results are in. Slide him left for Piotr Visix. Slide him right for Christophe Bloosh. And Ryan says Bloosh, Andy, unanimous. Christophe Bloosh gets the victory. That means that will be your podium because Piotr qualified 8th compared to the remaining drivers qualified 5th, 7th, and 3rd. So the remaining drivers of Bloosh, Osbo, and Forsberg will be our podium. Where they end up is to be decided right now. You know what? Our next battle, Forsberg and Osbo, 2 champions. Lorette caught up with the Norwegian Hammer.
A great battle between you and Chelsea Denofa. What did you experience?
Oh my God, that was crazy. I tried to put down a good qualifying run, but I could tell Chelsea was right there on my door the whole run. Now for his chase, he messed up the initiation. He came in way too shallow, took down the inner clip. He took down the clip going into turn 3 as well. So he was a little too hot, I think. I think we both really wanted to do well. A lot of respect for him, but today we're moving on.
When you really want to do well, how do you dial that in and concentrate at the job at hand?
I am one of those guys that are very analytical. I sit there and I try and plan out what I'm going to do, and sometimes it works out, other times it doesn't. And these guys are so good right now that I'm having a hard time just trying to keep up. So right now, going against Chris Forsberg in top 4 is going to be one of those times. Going to give it everything I've got, and we'll see if it's enough.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, well, there is Osbo talking about, you know what, it's my day, and he's feeling the confidence, and he's got to bring that against Chris Forsberg. And we talked about Forsberg in Orlando, how just kind of doing all right, and then just as the event went on, he won. He eventually won.
He won the tire conservation war. He won the strategic war and made a statement there. But I think to make a stronger statement, he's got to do it again here, or at least put on a strong showing. This is an opportunity for him to take those points away from the current leader. We have James Dean going out, Vincent going out, Wayne going out. We got Bloosh in the finals, and he's going to go against one of these 2 drivers. 3 rounds in the books after tonight, and we're going to see the championship starting to coalesce just a little bit.
Frederick, you can see how many times they've gone against each other. 8. There was a total of 12 times overall, with Frederick Osbo winning 8 out of those times. That leaves 4 wins compared to the 8 of Chris Forsberg. So 12 battles overall. Here we go. And the red lights are on. Let's see him send it. Here we go, Atlanta. Osbo or Forsberg? Osbo out front of that Corolla. Forsberg in that Nissan 370Z. Initiating is Osbo into that first front clip. Now up the hill goes Frederick Osbo into that first outer zone. Into the second outer zone goes Osbo. Chris Forsberg shallowing up his line, maintaining that proximity. Now out of the keyhole, here goes Frederick Osbo, that 4-cylinder turbo engine, powering through and back up the hill. Rocket ship of a car. Ryan?
Wow. Well, Frederick Osbo continues that solid performance in the lead. This is what we see him do all the time. Forsberg does a good job from the onset. Does not let him get away up the hill, a critical portion of the course. Osbo deep into this second outer zone. Maybe could have got about a foot deeper. You can see a little bit of shallowing up by Chris right there, tightening up his line, and then also there coming through the keyhole. Osbo nice and tight on that inside touch and go. And then Forsberg trying to close it down. They'll switch things up here. Forsberg goes to the lead. Osbo set to chase him down. A championship battle between 2 champions here in the Final 4.
Yeah, Frederick Osbo, again, your points leader. Chris Forsberg there in 3rd, potentially shaking things up. Want to send a shout out to my wife, Stephanie, Parker, Tyson. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms tomorrow. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms in the world. Mrs. Osbo, Mrs. Forsberg, Ashley Smith, and Aiden. Ashley Smith, happy birthday from Aiden. Ashley Smith, happy birthday from Aiden. Here we go. And this is just to go into the finals against Christophe Bloosh. Forsberg has made his way past Taylor Hole, Essa. Oh, look at this. We are seeing, it looks like Osbo's team coming up to his door. All right, so I'm seeing some flashlights underneath Osbo's car. So Osbo is calling a competition timeout. All right, well, we are back. On 3, let's get a big Ric Flair woo, all right? Let's get a big woo. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Woo! There you go. Never done that one before. Why not? Here we go. Chris Forsberg out front. Frederick Osbo in the chase position. Who's going against Christophe Bloosh in the finals? Forsberg initiates into that first front clip. Frederick Osbo right there. Now coming up the hill. Goes Forsberg, powering into that first outer zone. Into the second outer zone. Comes up just a bit short. Frederick Osbo nosing into that back wheel of Forsberg. Now powering down the hill goes Forsberg past the touch and go. Frederick Osbo sees some separation from Forsberg and back up the hill. Ryan Sage, what do you got?
Well, there's no question. I think Chris has established the past 2 rounds. He's got the grip. He's got the power to compete at the highest level. Once again, he had that year last year where he did a lot of tinkering around and figured out what he needed to do, and you can see here it's paying dividends. Doesn't get deep into that second outer zone, and Osbo attacks right here on the inside. Now coming through the keyhole here, you can see still a little bit of separation. Osbo trying to close the door here. Snappy transition back around by Chris Forsberg. And Frederick Osbo, as they cross the finish line there, now both runs are in the books. It's in the judges' hands. And here's the side-by-side. Osbo in the lead on the left. Forsberg on the lead on the right. You can see Osbo doing a great job right there in his chase run. Forsberg getting a bit closer, going up the hill. So you can see the difference in that section. Forsberg a little bit more shallow on that outer zone, but Osbo filling it. Now coming down the hill here. Osbo tight on that inside touch and go. Forsberg get tight on that inside touch and go. And then a little bit of separation here on the right screen between Osbo and Forsberg. Who's it going to be, Jared?
That's a tough one to call, man. I see the sign down there, like quoting Owen Wilson. Wow. Wow. Pretty tough battle here, but the results are in. Where are my Chris Forsberg fans at? Make some noise. Where are my Osbo fans at? Make some noise. Are they going one more time? Oh, everybody's like, no. Ryan says Frederick Osbo. Andy says Chris Forsberg. And Brian says Frederick Osbo gets the win. Frederick Osbo gets the win. 2-1. And Osbo goes to the finals. Ryan Lontaine, if we could get some elaboration from you here. It was 2-1. It was Andy that sided, but Brian and Ryan, you guys sided with Osbo.
In my eyes, Osbo did a better lead. He was up higher on outside zone 2, and Forsberg in the chase position had to give up a lot to maintain his proximity. So he did a really good job on angle coming up through outside zone 1. He maintained good proximity, but as soon as he got into the horseshoe following Osbo, his line was a little bit tighter and his angle went down significantly to keep proximity through the horseshoe, all the way through the exit of the horseshoe, and then he kind of matched again downhill. But Osbo, on the other hand, did a better job of mimicking the angle all the way through the horseshoe and did a better job going down the hill. Their proximity was a little bit further behind. Once we watched the side-by-side, you could see that it wasn't that much further behind, but he managed to match the angle a lot better. So in the chase position, he did a better job, and in the lead, Osbo didn't quite get as far out to outside zone 2 as Osbo did when he was leading.
All right, that's a lot. That's a lot to take in there. I mean, 2 really phenomenal runs, and like you said, there were moments where Chris Forsberg was a little bit better, but seemed that Osbo had the larger points. I don't know how you could be at 2 places at one time, but there you are. But again, so the finals are set. Chris Forsberg gets 3rd place. Well, the stage is set here at Road Atlanta, celebrating 15 years, and we've just had some new faces come and go, and you know what? We have a driver who's fighting for his first win in Formula Drift Championship Series, and he is up with Lorette Nickel now. The Latvian lover, as I like to call him, Christophe Bloosh, is with Lorette.
Christophe, this seems like a really emotional victory for you moving into the final battle. Why is that?
Why is that? Because finals is always fun, and we beat the defending champion, James Dean, Pure, who is competing this year like crazy good, and Forrest Wang, who returned and being one of the toppest guys. And now there's like 2 champs behind me. It's like a celebrity race today.
You've been waiting a long time for this moment.
Yeah, hopefully we're gonna take it this time, because there have been a few podiums before, but never got the top spot. So I really will try hard to get the top spot.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Christophe Bloosh, his demeanor has just become, again, one of my favorites. He's got smiles, he's got this attitude, he's kind of got this, again, Latvian badass kind of style to him, and he's actually a sweetheart, to be quite honest. But Frederick Osbo, he's going against him, and he's just become definitely just a spokesman for the motorsport, traveling all over, going back to his native Norway, teaching his girlfriend how to drift, and just a lot of things going on. And you can see that Mass Motorsports sticker. That is the big V8 engine he's running under the hood of that beautiful HGK Motorsports body kit. Again, our next broadcast will be the Gauntlet, New Jersey. Wall Stadium, New Jersey, June 1st and 2nd. June 1st and 2nd, round 4. That's our next round of Formula Drift competition. All right, so Christophe Bloosh waiting patiently for Osbo, who just got completed, doing battle with Forsberg as Bloosh blowing kisses. We'll take a short commercial break, and hopefully by the time we get back, Osbo will be ready to do battle against that Latvian lover when we come back. And here we are. We are seeing both cars pull to the line for our final battle, Atlanta! Oh, man, come on. I know you're running out of steam, but people around the world, they've been staying up all night. It is early in the morning in Norway, and I believe so, actually. Don't quote me on that. I don't know what time it is in Norway, to be quite honest. But
he's claiming hard?
I'm just claiming super hard right now. But here, let's look it up real quick there. As Oslo, Norway, it's 5 a.m. right now. And then, again, look at those stats. 5 wins over 0 wins of Christophe's. And it's 6 a.m. in the morning in Latvia. Ryan?
I was just going to say, let's paint a little picture here. Christophe Bloosh has been waiting for this redemptive moment for a long time.
Yep.
He had it in Orlando. He had another opportunity last year. He's only been a second-place finisher. And to beat Osbo would give him that redemption. To get a win would get him a win. To beat Osbo would get him that redemption.
Here we go. Frederick Osbo out front. Christophe Bloosh in that chase position. Can he get his first win? Talking about Christophe Bloosh. He needs to go a very consistent Frederick Osbo. Past that front clip goes Frederick Osbo. Christophe Bloosh applying the pressure. Here we go. Frederick Osbo into that first outer zone and into the second. Christophe Bloosh right there on the door of that Rockstar Energy Drink Toyota Corolla. A little separation here from Osbo and Bloosh as they bring it past that final front clip. Make some noise, Atlanta! Ryan, redemption is the key word right now, as you said.
Well, here we go. Frederick Osbo and Christophe Bloosh. Bloosh starting off strong here on the inside, but Osbo getting through that section of the course. We'll have to go back and take a look at that from another angle, but you can see Bloosh really applying the pressure here. Osbo out front filling that second outer zone through that inside clip. Now down the hill, Bloosh starting to fall back. This is the first time we've really seen something like this. He's keeping it close, but we've seen him get really close to guys through that last section of the course, keeping the pressure on, but there he fell back a little bit.
Frederick Osbo, he has multiple wins and podiums overall in his lifetime, but again, here in the U.S., he has 11 wins, 20 podiums, 3 top 4 finishes after 59 events. All right, on 3, let's yell, send it. 1, 2, 3, send it. Here we go. Christophe Bloosh out front. That Eurofighter BMW. Frederick Osbo in the chase position. Christophe's into that first front clip. Passes it. Christophe's into that first outer zone. Entering the keyhole. Into the second outer zone goes Christophe Bloosh. Powering down past that front clip and exiting the keyhole. Christophe Bloosh touching some dirt. Past the touch and go. Some separation from Bloosh and Osbo. Make some noise, Atlanta!
Well, Bloosh got a little bit back there. Initiates early right before that first inside clip. He's back on the throttle early. Huge angle through there. Snappy going up the hill. You can see the sparks flying, a little bit of separation. Now Osbo starting to close the door as Bloosh fills that second outer zone. Osbo close here through that second inside clip. Trying to lock it in, but you can see Bloosh keeping it really strong here. He went a little bit wide on that last inside touch and go and hit that inside clip, but was able to establish some separation here. So I want to go back and take a look at that from the side-by-side.
Ryan, if you could recall, last night, Ola Jaeger wins Pro 2. He's from Norway. He drives Fredrik Osbo's former vehicle. And now Fredrik Osbo going for a win here in the Pro Championship. Look at this side-by-side, Ryan.
Well, the judges digesting this here. You can see on the right-hand side, Bloosh pulling ahead a little bit. And then Osbo getting some back. Osbo, a great line out front. Bloosh, big angle.
Massive angle from Bloosh compared to Osbo. And
here's the separation there from Osbo. Here's the separation there from Bloosh.
But overall, the angle from Bloosh just seems that much more dynamic, especially in that keyhole. That seemed very apparent. So, man, all the elements combined through that Permatex top 4, and now here we are into the finals. The Napa road to the championship. Can Fredrik Osbo separate himself from the rest of the pack? Forsberg does have that third podium position. James Dean went out in the Great 8. So things are going to get shaken up a little bit there, but 5 rounds still left to go. We talked about that June 1st and 2nd, New Jersey. The next round of competition after that, we have St. Louis, Seattle, Texas, Texas, then Seattle, and then Irwindale, California. So a lot of points still up for grabs. Let's go. Guess what? They're going one more time. All right, so our finals are coming back to us again because the one more time battle between Osbo and Bloosh. But Lorette Nickel caught up with Bloosh once again at the top of the hill.
We know Christophe has been waiting for a win. Christophe, how do you do that? How do you advance forward?
It wasn't bad at all. This run was actually really good. As a lead, as a chase, and from Fredrik the same. His lead was perfect, and chase was as good as my. But judges decided to go one more time. But I know where I can improve it. The first part of the track was okay. And the second part a little bit fall off, but I know what to do to stay close to him, to behind me, and to grab that win. So hopefully I'll won't do any mistakes and just do my best, and we'll beat him finally.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Gangster right there. He says, mine was better, but the judges didn't think so. When we come back, the finals are hopefully upon us, and the cars are on the start line to find out who wins here in Atlanta. Yeah, there is Osbo on the start line. Christophe splashing the pot back there with some Achilles tire radial. And again, Fredrik Osbo, multiple wins, 40 podiums. HGMK, here we go, as the Rockstar Energy Drink. Next entire Toyota Racing, Toyota Corolla will lead. Christophe Bloosh will give chase. He's in that HGK. Motul, Wisefab, Achilles Tire, Eurofighter, E93. And these are the finals, the one more time battle. The judges unanimously said OMT one more time. Ryan? Nah? Got nothing? Sounds like the fans are hyped over there. The Bloosh is loose. Here we go. Is the Norwegian Hammer going to continue his reign of terror as he won in Long Beach? Forsberg won in Orlando. Who's going to win here in Atlanta? Osbo or Bloosh? We got a clean start. Send it, fellas. Osbo flicks it in. Bloosh right there. Applies the pressure. He is right there on the back of that Corolla. Backs off, gives him some distance, and now powers up into that first outer zone. Goes Osbo and Bloosh. Exiting the keyhole. Osbo powers down. And Bloosh gains some ground. Whoa, goes off course there. Seems like it might have been after the finish line.
Yeah, I think he's going to be okay there. Watch this initiation here from Osbo and watch Bloosh. So close here. Now, usually somebody would overshoot that and blow it, but Bloosh is able to stay in it. He has to pull back a little bit, so he's going to sacrifice a little bit there. Osbo does not feel that second outer zone completely, so there's an opportunity for Bloosh. Bloosh is now back on it. closing the door here. Osbo, very clean line out front. Bloosh, much better this time around to keep that proximity closer. And then right there, you can see the finish line was in the foreground, so that was after, so Bloosh should be okay.
All right, so that is a replay of a previous run. And now, again, so much Achilles and Nexon tire smoke on the track. An eerie kind of horror film here. It could be a horror or a victory film, depending on which side of the lane you are on, either that of Osbo or Bloosh. Here it is again.
What we're looking at here is the contact that occurred right there. As you can see, Bloosh got in to the rear left quarter of Osbo's car. So we just wanted to see how serious it was and who had fault for that, because some of the teams want to look at their cars after an impact.
All right, so it seems that there was some contact there. Lantain chiming in there and reviewing what happened there. And we are hearing, FYI, that Forsberg might be having some car issues, so he will probably be jumping in with Christophe Bloosh or Frederick Osbo to come down here and announce the winner when we have one. It might go one more time. We just saw this has been a night of one more times. We got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, multiple one more times here this evening. All right, so drivers can't see the initiation. They are saying they would prefer to wait. Christophe and Osbo again, and we are sending cars. We are clear to send. Still some smoke lingers, but the tires are getting cool and the track is getting cooler. Here we go. Let's heat it up and send it for potentially the final time. Bloosh out front, Osbo in the chase position. Sparks Osbo right there, but Bloosh pulls away. The angle from Bloosh coming into that first outer zone and then into the second, right on the line is Bloosh. Using all of the course, Osbo swings wide. Bloosh out of the keyhole. Bloosh pulling away. Massive angle from Bloosh. In my eyes, I think Bloosh has got it. Ryan, that was a solid battle there. Let's break it down once again.
Well, this might be the opportunity Bloosh was looking for. Osbo starts off extremely strong, very close here. But like Bloosh, he's not able to stay in it. Now Bloosh gets on it, rockets up. Osbo takes a little bit of angle out of the car, but Bloosh, you can see, fills that second outer zone better than Osbo did on his lead. Very tight on that inside clip. Now coming down the hill here, you can see Bloosh, and then Osbo right here, lacking the angle. It almost looks like he drops a tire, and then some separation. Is this going to be the opportunity for Christophe Bloosh to get his first win of the year?
Still waiting for one of the judges to implement it, and I believe we do have a winner. We do have a winner. Make some noise for Christophe Bloosh and Frederick Osbo. We'll bring them down here to the keyhole. 15 years of the Formula Drift Championship. 15 years, the Formula Drift Championship here at Road Atlanta. Thank you to our judges, Ryan Lantain, Brian Egger, and Andy Yen. That is a very thankless job as well as an unenviable job when you get runs like that are just so competitive, so difficult. The one more times is not what they would like to do, but it's necessary in order to really define and find out who the victor is.
Well, you know, it's clear when they do the one more times that they're definitely not in cahoots, because we saw a lot of variance tonight. Each judge acting independently and giving their result. But tonight we saw some great battles from 32 into 16, 8-4 in finals, and the championship is well underway, Jared.
All right, so yeah, I mean, we have 5 rounds left. New Jersey, St. Louis, Texas, Seattle, Irwindale. It will be back here. Let's line them up, fellas. And there we go, bringing them all up here. These are 3 rocket ships that make it to the landing pad that is the podium. Make some noise for them as they step outside of their vehicles, these 3 pilots of these rocket ships. Hard-fought battles between these three gentlemen. 2 champions, 1 potential future champion. Multiple wins for both of these guys, except one. Christophe Bloosh going for his first ever victory. A couple third-place finishes, one notably last year here in Atlanta, and 2 second places. Now, third place here at Road Atlanta. Third round of the Formula Jet Black Magic Championship. Third place in the NOS Energy Drink 370Z, Chris the Force Forsberg. And finally, your winner here at the Napa Auto Parts Road to the Championship, presented by Rain-X. This is round 3 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship. Is an international driver. You love when I do this. Coming all the way from across the pond. One driver is a former champion. One driver going for his first win. One driver with a V8 BMW, one with a 4-cylinder turbo Toyota Racing Corolla. And the winner here at the iconic Road Atlanta, celebrating 15 years of the Formula Drift Championship. The winner is Christophe Bloosh from Latvia. Unanimously gets the win in his HGK Achilles tire Eurofighter BMW. Your winner at Road Atlanta, Christophe Bloosh from Latvia. And that means second place and your current points leader in the Rockstar Energy Drink Next entire Toyota Corolla from Norway, Fredrik the Norwegian Hammer Osbo. There's your 1, 2, and 3. Lorette, you've had a lot of words with Christophe Bloosh at the top of the hill. Now he's at the top of the podium and down in the keyhole. Lorette?
Christophe, leading up to this moment, how many times have you dreamt about this win?
30. 30 times. I think it's the 30th race here in FD. And I've been podium like 4 times and stepping all over the place, the podium, but never been in the top. So finally, yeah!
Christophe, how do you carry this momentum going into New Jersey?
Same as here, just do my best because I'm not the one only I won today, but who knows what's going to happen tomorrow. There is so many good drivers, so many champions, and we can learn from each other a lot, and just we're doing our best. And for you, for the spectators, for our fans, just make it like crazy, crazy, crazy. I don't know. I'm speechless. Yeah, whatever.
Congratulations to Christophe on his first win.
Thank you very much.
Guys.
Thank you, Lorette. Congratulations. Christophe Bloosh grabs #1 spot in the HGK Achilles Massed Motorsports BMW. Fredrik Osbo grabs second. Chris Forsberg grabs third. Ryan?
Yeah, the championship is starting to firm up here, but Christophe Bloosh was the best driver today. He had incredible qualifying yesterday. He was fighting for it. He had some moments. He had some one more times. His car is extremely fast, and he beat the best here this afternoon. He finally got some redemption against Fredrik Osbo, but now the season is really on. We head to New Jersey to Wall and the Gauntlet to kind of get into the middle of the season and see where this is going to go.
Fredrik Osbo really trying to make an effort to knock James Dean out of his defending crown and his defending throne. So join us over at the podium ceremony if you're here in the building. If you're not, we'll see you online or we'll see you another time. On behalf of the whole team, Ryan, Sage, all our judges, all our staff, all the teams, all the drivers, thank you for celebrating 15 years of Formula Drift here in Atlanta. Send it, Atlanta!